Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to not Cross Examinations. Welcome to Blacklist Universe. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. Seeing how much interest there is in the Captain Marvel video I posted yesterday, and please do check it out if you have not seen it already. I'm going to do a real quick overview of who is who is this person we call Captain Marvel. And no, I don't mean that Captain Marvel. That is the correct answer of who is Captain Marvel. But no, we mean the mighty Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics. But in order to get here from there, you rock, go girl. We have to go back. Well, let's not go back this far. Let's go back to this original Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics, also known as mar-vell. mar-vell appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character was created by writer-editor Stan Lee and designed by artist Gene Colan, and first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 12 in December of 1967. The character debuted during the Silver Age of comic books and has made many appearances since then, including the self-titled series and the second volume of Marvel Spotlights. Captain Marvel was ranked 24th in IGN's list of top 50 Avengers and has appeared in television series and video games. Publication history from 1940 to 1953, Fawcett Comics published comics featuring their popular character Captain Marvel, as seen here, and thus held a trademark to the name Captain Marvel. Fawcett ceased publishing the comics in 1953 due to a 1951 copyright infringement suit from our friends at DC Comics, and their trademark ostensibly lapsed. Ostensibly, not ostensibly. Taking advantage of the situation, Marvel debuted its new Captain Marvel character in 1967, bam, and quickly trademarked the name. Marvel was not the first company to try to capitalize on Fawcett's lapsed trademark. In 1966, the publisher MF Enterprises. What a very strange name. What's your company's name? MF Enterprises. Released a short-lived Captain Marvel series. Due to the title containing its company name, Marvel had convinced MF Enterprises to cease their Captain Marvel series after 5 issues, paying MF a settlement of $4,500, which, back in the 50s wasn't too bad a deal, I guess. Marvel's character debuted as the lead feature in Marvel Superheroes number 12, December 1967, written by Stan Lee and illustrated by Gene Colan. Although usually credited as co-creator, Colan had no involvement with Captain Marvel's conception, and in fact has voiced an intense dislike for the character, and especially his original white and green costume. Oh, darn, do I not have that? I don't have that up here, sorry. It was awful, just an imitation of any other costume character I'd ever done. Shortly thereafter, Captain Marvel was given his own series, commencing with Captain Marvel number 1, May 1968. These appearances, established by... let me see. Here's some more Captain Marvel. Where was I? These appearances established Captain Marvel, or mar-vell, as an alien of the Kree race who had come to Earth as a spy before coming to identify with his human neighbors. The series failed to register with readers and was revamped by writer-artist team Roy Thomas and Gil Kane in issue number 17, October 1969. The character was given a new uniform designed by Kane and colorist Michelle Robinson and greater abilities. An added plot feature was the introduction of sidekick Rick Jones. Jones and Marvel shared molecules, allowing only one to exist in the real world at a time. Thomas stated that the intent of the change was to create a more science fiction-oriented update that was reminiscent of Fawcett Comics' original Captain Marvel, who similarly had an alter ego that could not coexist with the superhero. The change, however, was not successful, and the series was published only intermittently from 1969 and was initially canceled with issue 21, August 1970. Though the character appeared in the Kree Skull War storyline of Avengers 89 to 97, also written by Thomas, the Captain Marvel series recommenced with issue number 22 in 1972. Plotter and artist Jim Starlin decided to revamp the character with issue number 25. Comics historian Les Daniels noted that in a brief stint with Marvel, which included launched work on two launched in 1977, but sales remain what? Oh, work on two characters. I apologize. Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock that had previously never quite made their mark. Starlin managed to build a considerable cult following. A spin-off series, Miss Marvel. Boop. Well, no, I don't think we got to that yet. All right. Miss Marvel was launched in 1977, but sales remained modest, and the series was published only on a bi-monthly basis until it was ultimately canceled in 1979. The continued publication, however, kept the trademark current. This had the effect of requiring DC Comics, which in the meantime licensed the original Fawcett Captain Marvel for publication, to print its new comics. Under the trademark Shazam. Comics historian Don Markstein states, Marvel didn't seem to quite know what to do with him, but they did put his comic out every other month through most of the 70s, if only to maintain their trademark on his name. When Captain Marvel was canceled, with issue 62 in 1979, there were 5 as yet unpublished issues already completed or near completion. The series Marvel Spotlight was revived for the express purpose of publishing them, specifically in issues number 1 through 4 and 8. Starlin wrote Mar-vell's death in Marvel's first graphic novel, The Death of Captain Marvel, in 1982. Following the character's death, Marvel published several other comics with a new character taking up the Captain Marvel moniker, thereby maintaining their trademark on the name. The character returned, although not in a living capacity, in a storyline in Silver Surfer Volume 3, Number 63, 1992, and Captain Marvel Volume 5, Number 5, March 2003. The limited series Captain Marvel Volume 1 through 5 was released as part of the 2008 Secret Invasion storyline and supposedly heralded the return of the character, although it was eventually revealed that this mar-vell was an alien Skrull. Mar-vell was one of the featured characters in the 2011 3-issue limited series Chaos War Dead Avengers. Okay, 60s, 70s, 80s, powers and abilities. Upon his arrival on Earth, Mar-vell possessed no superhuman powers, apart from being stronger and more durable than most humans due to his advanced Kree physiology. The Kree have evolved with a higher physical levels than humans to combat the heavier gravitations of their home planets. As a soldier, the character is equipped with a device called a universal beam, or unibeam, at first a handheld pistol, but later converted into a wrist-mounted device that is capable of projecting energy, emitting energy beams of pure blackness and controlling magnetism. When manipulated by actually Zarek, the Kree Imperial Minister, Mar-vell had been greatly enhanced, having his physical abilities augmented to the point of crushing the hardest substance known to Kree, gaining the ability to teleport anywhere in the universe, fly under his own power faster than light speeds, and traverse vast interstellar and intergalactic distances, as well as the ability to mentally project illusions. Most of these abilities were lost when Mar-vell gained the negabands, which convert Mar-vell's psionic energy into greater strength, durability, speed, flight, and enable him to exist unprotected in deep outer space without having to breathe. Following the photon ray treatments, Mar-vell was able to absorb solar energy, Superman, to further increase his strength. After his encounter with Aeon, he began to use his solar energy to fly, leaving a sparkling trail in his wake, like Tinkerbell. Once he is named the Protector of the Universe by Aeon, Mar-vell gains cosmic awareness, which, among other things, allows him to detect threats and perceive changes in the universe as long as they are important to him for some reason. This awareness can also be used internally. Sorry, got a little annoying thing there. Which alerted him to his terminal cancer even before he went to have it medically confirmed. Mar-vell's Kree military training gives him mastery of all forms of unarmed combat and extensive knowledge of the technology of the Kree Empire. Other versions of mar-vell include, well, let's not go into that. Let's move into the Carol Danvers, as we described earlier. Carol Danvers, the first character to use the moniker of Miss Marvel, which she got the powers from Captain Marvel, first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 13, March 1968. This is the character we are talking about in today's. I'm going to skip over a bunch of the other Miss Marvels and Captain Marvels, and let's jump over to Miss Marvel here. Carol Danvers is a fictional superhero appearing in the American comic books published by Marvel Comics, created by writer Roy Thomas and Gene Colan. As mentioned earlier, Danvers first appeared as an officer in the United States Air Force and a colleague of the Kree superhero Mar-vell in Marvel Superheroes number 13. Danvers later became the first incarnation of Miss Marvel, of which there have been several. Cover dating January 1977. After her DNA was fused with Mar-vell's during an explosion, giving her superhuman powers. Debuting in the Silver Age of comics, the character was featured in a self-titled series in the late 1970s before becoming associated with the superhero teams the Avengers and X-Men. The character has also been known as Binary, Warbird, and Captain Marvel at various points in her history. She has been labeled Marvel's biggest female hero. Questionable. And quite possibly Marvel's mightiest Avenger. No. In 2012, Danvers' incarnation of Miss Marvel was the highest-ranked female character at number 11 on IGN's list of top 50 Avengers, which would put her at number 11, probably not Marvel's mightiest Avenger. Anyways, Danvers has been featured in other Marvel licensed projects. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go through Carol Danvers' history in comics. This is Carol today. So back to Captain Marvel. Let's go from the 2000s. She portrayed Warbird. All right, 2000s. As Warbird, the character returns to the Avengers to play a key role in the Kang Dynasty plotline. This is going to get too long. 2010s. In the conclusion of the second volume of Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers battles her old nemesis Mystique and a clone of Captain Marvel created by the Skrulls during the Secret Invasion. After they carry out a series of tragedies at temples belonging to the Church of Hela, the church dedicated to Mar-vell. Danvers later aids the allied forces of Steve Rogers against Iron Patriot during Siege of Asgard. Danvers also begins to develop a friendship with Spider-Man. Though he infuriates her first time they work together, the two become closer when he helps her during Dark Reign's storyline. She later admits to having feelings for him. Following the conclusion of the Siege storyline, Miss Marvel returns as a regular character in the second volume of The New Avengers. In July of 2012, Carol Danvers assumes the mantle of Captain Marvel, and that is how we get here from there. In an ongoing series written by Kelly Sue, art by Dexter Soy, Danvers dons a jumpsuit and explores her own past. When describing her pitch for the series at WonderCon in 2012, DeConnick said it could be pretty much summed up as Carol Danvers as Chuck Yeager. She said the series would contemplate what Danvers' legend means, or Captain Marvel's legend means to Danvers, and how she will wield it, and how the rest of the Marvel Universe reacts. Danvers also rejoined the main Avengers team as Captain Marvel in Volume 5 of Avengers and the spin-off series Avengers Assemble, also written by DeConnick. Editor Lauren Sankovic said that Marvel editors liked DeConnick's work, and her adding to the team would get some lady power in the Avengers lineup. DeConnick said, "You might know this. I have a certain affection for Carol Danvers, and I decided, well, if I'm deciding, there will be a slot available for her as well." In 2013, Carol Danvers starred in the Captain Marvel Avengers Assemble crossover storyline, The Enemy Within. In the story, Danvers and her Avengers teammates battle Jan Rog, the Kree commander who was responsible for the explosion that caused Danvers to receive her powers. And in defeating the Kree, Danvers loses her memories. In November 2013, Marvel announced that Danvers would be joining the Guardians of the Galaxy beginning in Free Comic Book Day Guardians of the Galaxy May 2014 by Brian Bendis and Sarah Pichelli. In March 2014, Marvel launched an 8th volume of Captain Marvel, after written again by DeConnick and starring Danvers in the title role, but drawn by artist David Lopez. DeConnick said, "The big difference is we were grounded in the New York City for the previous volume, at least in the latter part of it. With the new Captain Marvel #1, we start in New York City, but after that we're letting her go cosmic. Carol will be spending time off planet." During the 2015 Secret Wars storyline, Danvers headed to her own tie-in series, Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps, written by DeConnick and Kelly Thompson, drawn by Lopez. In the series, Danvers leads an elite squadron of female fighter pilots stationed at an airbase called Hala Field, where she is the only superpowered being. This leads the Corps to help Danvers answer the question about her origin, which puts her in conflict with the controlling forces of Battleworld. During the storyline, Danvers becomes member of A-Force, Battleworld's all-female team of Avengers. The series, written by G. Willow Wilson, continued into Marvel's all-new, all-different relaunch campaign that followed Secret Wars with Danvers in a key role. Continuing with the all-new, all-different initiative, Danvers starred in the 9th volume of Captain Marvel. Yet another volume. These are called relaunches because they had to be relaunched because the books were not doing well. Written by Agent Carter showrunners Tara Butters and Michelle Fazekas, with artwork by Chris Anka, which debuted in October 2015. The series, set 8 months after Secret Wars, sees Danvers taking over the responsibilities of SWORD, a military agency that was previously designated to protect Earth from intergalactic threats. Editor Sana Amanat said, "This really meant to be the next level for Captain Marvel. Carol is really meant to be a soldier and a commander, and also a diplomat. So we're really trying to build up this space complex in the space world." At the time, Danvers also joined the Ultimates. Series writer Al Ewing said, "Carol's currently running Alpha Flight, which is Earth's premier space agency. She has seen highs and lows of the superhero business and come out the other side. Right now, Carol's in the ascendant, culturally both inverse and outside. In-universe and outside. Carol's story in the Ultimates is very much about her links with the ordinary superhero world and about trying to form a bridge between that world and the world of the Ultimates." In 2016, Danvers plays the predominant world in the storyline Civil War II, the core miniseries of which was written by Brian Michael Bendis and illustrated by David Marquez. In the story, Danvers is the leader of a faction of superheroes who wish to use Ulysses' precognitive power to profile people who, in visions, will commit future crimes. About her position, Bendis stated, "From Carol's point of view, she's like, you're telling me the world is still turning at the end of the day and everyone is safe? I don't care. If it keeps us safe, that's fine." Following the conclusion of Civil War II, Danvers starred in The Mighty Captain Marvel by writer Margaret Stohl and Raymond Rosanas, which sees Danvers become a household name. Stoll explained she will be one of the most popular heroes on the planet, but that's not something she is very comfortable with. And of course, she's lost a lot of folks that she's loved and has to cope with that too. That being said, she still has a job to do as commander of Alpha Flight, her latest mission being recruiting and training new cadets. It'll also bring with it a mysterious danger that will threaten everything Carol has built. Beginning in July of 2018, Danvers headlined a limited series called The Life of Captain Marvel by Stoll and artist Carlos Pacheco. My favorite. The series is described as a retelling of Danvers' origin story. But Stoll insisted that it's not a reinvention, explaining, "You look through a different lens. It's nothing you'll expect and nothing you'll have seen happen, but there will be parts of her life that change context from what you've seen before. So it's telling the story, the other side of the story of how she came to be. Stoll also said that there will be similarities with the upcoming 2019 film, but the film is its own thing. The series reveals Danvers' mother is Kree, and that the blast that was responsible for her powers only awakened her pre existing Kree genes and did not fuse her human DNA with Marvel's Kree DNA as originally written. I have to interject here. That is a reinvention. That's not an alternate version. That's a reinvention. Anyways, back to the story. Danvers is scheduled to star in the 10th volume, the 10th reboot read of Captain Marvel, written by Thompson and drawn by Carmen Carnano. The series sees Danvers return to New York City after a stint in space and reconnect with allies and friends like Iron Man and Spider-Woman, as well as explore new relationships. Thompson teased there will definitely be some romance, and it may be someone that we all know and have seen before in Marvel Comics. So there you have it. Captain Marvel, the mighty Captain Marvel. If you want to get a #1 copy of Captain Marvel, there are 10 to choose from, as the series has been rebooted 10 times. So make sure you're picking the one you actually want. And if you're going to go see the movie, let us know in the comments. Let us know how you like this review. Please do check out my other videos. And if you have time, go over to themegcomic.com and check out the comics I have available in support of this website. We are, again, Blacklist Universe. I have been your host, Mike S. Miller. Thank you for being here, and subscribe, please.